The Frames Per Second podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Frames Per Second podcast. My name is Kenneth B. Inch. Joining me, it's just Mike and Spike and me. We are here talking about, I guess a remake, reboot, or whatever of The Crow, a movie that was made back in 1994 that starred Brandon Lee, that was also based off of a comic book series. Yep. So this one is an American Gothic superhero film directed by Rupert Sanders. It is a reboot and the fifth film in the franchise. And yeah.
Wait, there are 5 of these?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yep, there are 5 total. Spike, have you ever watched The Crow before?
No. Absolutely not.
This is ridiculous, bro.
The only thing I knew about The Crow was Brandon Lee got killed doing it because they had the real gun in there. That's the only thing. I don't even remember the previews. I didn't know this was a comic. I always wondered why it was so popular, but now you saying it's a comic makes sense.
Okay. Did you like this one?
It wasn't bad. I was expecting a lot worse. I'll say that. I was expecting to not like this at all, but the premise was good. The action was phenomenal. Like some of the fight scenes and shit were really cool. Kind of slow. And I didn't know the context of the whispering in the ear shit, so I was like kind of lost with that. But it makes sense now since you said it was 5 of these movies. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I didn't waste my money. I didn't waste my time on it.
What about you, Mike?
Well, the original is one of my favorite movies. It's incredible. This was an absolute piece of shit. This was fucking horrible. Me and my girl went and saw it, and I apologized to her over and over and over again after we left the theater. Because I can't remember what I said was the worst movie of the year. I think I said it was Trap or Twisters.
Trap.
Trap was fucking The Witch. Trap was Hereditary. Trap was the original Nosferatu compared to this bullshit.
Really?
This was absolute garbage.
Spike. This was awful. And
my expectations were so low. That's probably why I came out with it wasn't bad.
You having not seen the original, if you would have seen the original, you would have been offended. The original is a damn near classic, bro.
Was it the same storyline with the girl and stuff, or was that different?
It was a difference. The story was written different. But
got it.
Brandon Lee was he was great in that movie. You got to watch it. It's on one of the services.
It's on HBO Max right now.
Yeah, okay. you got to watch it, Spike.
Now y'all have me interested.
Yeah, watch it.
Y'all saying this one was that bad because I didn't think this one was just awful.
This movie was so ass. We left the theater and we were both like, "Yo, are we just remembering The Crow wrong?" I was like, "Is The Crow really a shitty film?" Because I watched this like we were talking about Beetlejuice. The Crow was that movie for me when I was younger. I watched that shit throughout high school, throughout college. Like that movie was the shit. And I was like, I'm afraid to go back and rewatch this because I don't want to ruin my memories. But I did it. I rewatched it yesterday and I was like, no, this shit is still great. The acting is great. The story is great. The action works. The only thing that was bad about The Crow was the CGI, but that was also
94.
Yeah, 94. So the original Crow still hits. This bullshit, whoever made this guy, this fool, he should be embarrassed. I think this is only his like second film or third film, something like that. maybe fourth film. I don't remember, but he shouldn't make no more movies if this is the best you can do.
Mike, bro, hands down, exactly what happened with me, bro. Like, I was sitting there watching this, questioning whether or not the original movie was good.
Yeah.
And I went back, I rewatched it last night. I watched it after Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, like, no, this guy just like, I was like, I was like, why did he decide to do this and rewrite it in such an awful way? I was like, what is the, oh
So,
my God. I was
Did
so
he have the
disturbed.
same like powers and stuff in the original, or was it that he changed
Yeah,
it?
he did. The problem was, look, Skarsgård wasn't the issue. He's a great actor. And the main bad guy, who I'm drawing a blank on his name, the guy that was in 30 Days a Night.
Yeah, he always play a bad guy.
He has a bad guy face. You can
Yeah,
just
he got
tell.
the bad guy face.
He was great. Everybody else around them, especially FKA Twig, girl, if you don't go back to just singing, you can't act for shit. I knew we were in trouble the second this movie started, and she was talking to her friend on the phone. What are we gonna do? Well, I guess I'm just gonna run. Oh no, why would you send a video? Oh my God. I was like, y'all started this shit like this? Nobody in this room was like, I felt like fucking AOC. Baby girl, don't even play. It's like, what the, who told you could act? And I hate to be mean, but somebody need to tell her.
Somebody got to do it.
Don't ever in your life do this again.
She's a singer.
Awful. Yeah, you've heard of FKA Twigs?
Yeah, she's a singer.
I don't think I have.
I mean, I don't love her music, but it's not bad.
She sounded good in this.
When
she was singing?
I don't know, Spike.
When she was singing, you don't think she sounded good?
I think she sounded fine singing, but Mike was probably over it by then.
He right. Ken's right. I was over it.
She was
saying I was over it.
God awful. Oh my God. I was like, what are y'all doing? Whose idea was this? Was she cheap?
She must have been. She must have did this shit for free.
And the problem is that she is damn near, if not half, at least a good third of the whole goddamn movie.
Yeah.
Because the difference between this one and the other one, Spike, I really encourage you to go to watch it. And there's a scene that's probably going to remind you of another movie towards the end of the first one. I was like, oh my God, that looks like. But tell me if you watch it, then we can talk about it. But
okay,
like the way it even opened with him being disturbed because of a horse and a strained relationship with apparently his alcoholic mother, which I don't know if they established that. I'm just seeing this on Wikipedia right now, but it was
did not establish that.
Okay, all right.
I wondered where his parents were.
All I saw was the horse, and I'm like, okay, which I understand. I don't like to see animals get hurt, so and I guess we have to assume that he has a real strong connection to this damn horse. And then they got the crow, the birds and stuff flying off. But apparently, I guess that sent them astray. But then we go away from him to the
girl,
to FKA Twigs and this girl. And she's about to be kidnapped, so she bumps into the cop, and I guess Mike and Spike, help me out. Did she deliberately drop the drugs and stuff out of her purse? Okay.
Yeah, to hide from the people.
All right, cool. So yeah.
It didn't make any fucking sense though. I mean, really, honestly, none of this fucking movie made any sense. Even if you suspend disbelief, none of this movie made any fucking sense. Especially when we get to the end, which we'll get to. But this particular part, I was like, well, okay, you intentionally put drugs in your purse because you knew at some point you were going to run into some cops and drop your purse?
See, I thought that she just used drugs and she knew the drugs were in her purse. She seen a dude following her and thought to bump into the cops and drop the drugs.
See, I knew she was already a drug addict.
Right.
Which was already stupid, but I knew she was already a drug addict. But I took it like she did this part on purpose. Like, I don't know. So when she saw the cops, it was like, let me.
Yeah, I thought she looked back and saw dude chasing her, then looked and saw the cops and had the idea of, oh, this would work.
Y'all, but yes, I'm with Mike and sort of you. Yeah, I think you're saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. She saw the cops and ran to the cops for protection, and she dropped the drugs in order so the cops would arrest her. They skipped over a whole trial and sending her to whatever this place is at.
She didn't contact anybody. Like, her mom didn't know she was there. No one knew she was there. That was insane.
I don't think cops just arrest people on the street and immediately send them to rehab. It didn't make any fucking sense, because didn't it? So when it finally got to her mama, the Florida Evans ass looking mama, I couldn't tell if her mom knew she was there the whole time and she just wasn't telling the bad guys, or did she finally just figure it out? I couldn't. Do y'all know?
I don't know. I don't know either. I think her mom was looking for her and somehow managed to find her there as the mom. And I guess she was probably calling around looking for her daughter, which she had an estranged relationship with.
Okay, so pause. That's what I thought too. When do y'all know cops to just find people on the street and be like, you're a drug addict, we are going to send you to rehab? They would have contacted her mother and said, hey, we found your kid on the street. Her mother would have had to say, we're sending you to rehab. So when they tried to imply that the mom didn't know where she was, I couldn't tell if this was just shitty ass writing or if the mom was lying because she didn't want to give her daughter up to these people. If she didn't know where she was and the cops just put her in rehab, the movie really falls apart because it doesn't make any sense. The cops were just threw her in jail, charged her, and that's it.
Didn't the main villain guy tell her mom, like, thank you for giving her to us or something like that when he went to go see her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
right.
So maybe she did know.
But what took her so long?
But then I don't even know if he was speaking to that, because the video shows that he had been around her and all of this.
They never explained it. They never explained it.
I thought he meant. I thought he meant she kind of like let him have her.
Yeah.
Not that, oh, thank you for telling. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, so maybe because he has this infatuation with the piano, which I was going to ask y'all about. But maybe she was that girl before the other girl that's currently with him. Maybe he had the same plans for her. Y'all remember the little white girl that was riding around with him?
Yeah, because I was wondering why. Yeah, I was wondering what she was there for and what her purpose was. I think you could be right about that. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm with Mike. She just that whole scene that led to them fleeing didn't make any sense.
Jesus Christ, dude.
At all. And first of all, I think the other issue, because they use that they're both in this whole troubled place, and to get them to connected, and I guess she just liked his bad boy aesthetic. I don't know, and he liked her, and
you're beautifully broken. You're beautifully broken. I see that in you. You're beautifully broken. What the fuck? Who wrote this shit? This was like a fucking teenager's live journal. This was so stupid. Or MySpace post.
Is this supposed to be me? You drawing pictures of her naked and shit, bro? Like
that gives me creep vibes. I'm not trying to fall in love with you. You're a weirdo.
Right, bro.
You just met me 10 minutes ago. Why are you drawing me naked? Fucking creep.
And this has to be one of the worst facilities to keep prisoners in of all time. They climbed through a window, ran without one spotlight on them. Right. They climbed a fence with barbed wire on it.
And all they did was throw a shirt over it.
Spike, where were the prison guards? Where were the guards?
Because it wasn't prison. That's the thing that doesn't make any fucking sense. It was rehab. It was like prison rehab. Was it prison or was it rehab? And why do you have ankle bracelets if you can just cut them off? This shit didn't make any fucking sense. What was this facility?
That was a good point.
Yeah, Wikipedia says it's some facility for troubled youth. I don't know. They never really said it.
Are they there voluntarily or?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay,
They can't be because she had drugs.
yeah.
So they
And then he says, "I'm rehabilitated, so I can leave now."
That's what
Oh
was
my
funny to me.
God.
So like, I am not a writer. I'm not a film writer. But like, whoever wrote this, y'all didn't even try. None of this makes any sense. So why was he there? It never explained. Obviously he was on drugs. I think from those flashbacks, I kind of got the impression that maybe he burned his mother to death by accident or something. Because remember, it showed the trailer kind of in flames. But then when she asks, like, what's the worst thing you've ever done? And he says, like, ran away with you. You would think if he killed his mother, he'd be like, I killed my mom. I burned her up in a trailer after seeing my fucking white horse run up in some barbed wire. But he didn't say that. And I'm okay with movies leaving certain things out, but like this seems like integral pieces to the plot. So I'm just lost.
Yeah, I think they just skipped all of that. They just wanted to have a way for them to meet so they can spend the next part focusing on them falling in love together.
I was wondering, so having no context to it, as they got to that part, Ken, since you brought it up, I was like, so this is just a love story? Like that's what this is, like a dark romance? I didn't even know the comic book aspect of it, but I did find that off-putting, like just you said, now we're just in this love story, in the middle of this love story of them being infatuated with each other.
The original Spike, the whole premise is, I mean, this isn't a spoiler because it's the same basic thing in this film, but the whole premise is Eric Draven is coming back to get revenge on the people that killed him and his wife.
Got it.
That's the whole premise. The thing is, in the original, that love is shown through just a few flashbacks. But the thing is, in those few flashbacks, you walk away being like, damn, they were really in love. This movie spent the first fucking hour trying to force us to believe that these two losers who knew each other for 12 hours were in love.
Hey, I was shooting them a lot of bail. Now that I'm listening to y'all, I was shooting them a lot of bail because I was assuming that after when she went to his cell that she wasn't supposed to be in and just went in there anyway and nothing happened. I thought that they had skipped time, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's been a couple months since she introduced herself.
Couldn't have been.
When me and my girl left, that is the exact thing I said to her. To make this movie make a little bit of sense, that's all you had to do. Make it seem like they were in this facility for 8 months.
Yep.
And then these people found them. Make it seem like she checked herself into the facility under a different name, and that's why she was there. Make it to where whoever this friend was that had all this money, that had her sugar daddy or whatever, make it seem like he paid for her to go to rehab. She was there under a fake name. They met, they fell in love, and then the bad guys found them. Yeah. They found them in a day. So we're supposed to really believe that they fell in love in a day? They had no chemistry. She's lame, but she has that kind of like innocent look to her. He looks like a filthy juggalo. So watching him, and I'm supposed to believe that she just saw this guy with these horrible little Pete tattoos, and I'm just in love because you're beautifully broken. Really, dude?
And he cries now and cries later.
Oh God, that shit was so corny. They seriously felt like someone's shitty journal that they wrote in the fucking 80s. I don't understand this guy or whoever this person is that wrote this film.
I don't know either, but yeah, Spike, you definitely shoot him a lot of bail
I
because
shot him a lot of bail.
they
too.
had no chemistry, and and we're having a lot of the same questions. Like, wait, they fell in love that fast? Like what? Like I didn't get it. So I guess the house that she went to was the white girl's house that was killed, or was that somebody else?
I thought it was
someone else.
Yeah,
she said my friend, he's away in somewhere.
She did say he.
Mm-hmm.
So she's able to just walk in to her friend's house and he just let her up.
Steal his money, try on his clothes.
Okay. All right.
Well,
I
here's
guess.
Did the Juggalo Crow know that she was a hoe?
I don't think
She was a hoe for real. Like she was like a prostitute.
mean, I kind of got that impression because it was like she said this was her friend, but it was the way she said it made it seem like I don't know. Maybe I'm inserting things that aren't there, but I took it like this guy's a sugar daddy.
I
Why
thought
else would he
so
let her
too.
stay there?
Yeah, and she must have been to make it make sense. She must have been on some kind of approval list to go there and visit. Yeah. But she was fast. She was she was fast. But
then it goes back to what y'all said. Like, why wouldn't she just go there in the first place instead of getting herself locked up? Like, if no one can find you here, there's money there, and you can use that money to go somewhere and get away. Just go there, or maybe she was headed there. When they was
Rogue is the villain. What you guys think of Rogue?
The guy?
Okay, let me ask a better direct question. A question that went through my head. Was he acting like Kingpin to y'all?
Yeah, he was acting like a very stereotypical Batman villain. He was acting like a mixture of the Kingpin with the Penguin. I don't understand why they gave him these supernatural powers, but that's okay if they did something with him. I thought he was cool at first. I was like, oh, he's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think he played the role well, but that was one thing I was going to ask. That he didn't have those powers in the other ones?
No. This is new.
It's new.
Yeah, at least for this movie that I remember.
Yeah, I was shooting them a lot of
it was one moment. Well, I get when he rolled up on Marion, the mom of Shelley, and he was like, why are they there? And it reminded me of how the actor played Kingpin, like his pacing, his cadence, like everything. I was like, oh, bro, you just basically bit that whole whole character. So I don't know. That was weird for me. But I thought the powers were cool until the end, But yeah. So
I have a question about the powers, though. So he would whisper in their ear, they would think dark thoughts, and they would commit suicide
or kill somebody else.
Right.
But the guy who explained that to us, he apparently had went through it, and he wasn't dead. The dude with the hood on.
Like he saw it. He just saw it.
Oh, I thought that it had happened to him because he was explaining. He was like, "You hear these awful things; they're in the pit of your soul." Because he explained what happens, and I was like, "Well, why he ain't dead then?"
You might be right, Spike. But I mean, he might have made him kill somebody else because that was the whole thing with the tape.
With the girl
is that he made Shelley kill somebody. Which, I mean, can we go ahead and get that out the way,
please? Yeah,
that shit made no fucking sense. The tape shows Rogue, whatever the fuck his name was, walk over, whisper something in Shelley's ear, and then Shelley kills the other woman.
Mm-hmm.
Why was that a problem for Rogue? If she took this shit to the cops, who the fuck is gonna believe her saying, "Oh, he whispered some demonic shit in my ear"? It didn't make any sense. And her little friend that was sending the tape to other people or whatever the fuck she did. All you're doing is implicating me.
Yeah.
You're not implicating Rogue. It didn't make any sense. So the fact that we spent this whole fucking movie watching Rogue chase them down to get this tape back, and all the tape was showing her kill someone, it didn't make any sense.
so baffling, bro. I was like, what?
Oh my
That
God.
was it? That's the whole thing. So the friend at the club didn't rat them out. Apparently, I guess we remember the guy walked into the club. He was trying to convince Shelly to come
Yeah,
with
that's the
him
dude I'm
because
talking. Yeah, that's the
yeah,
dude.
that's
That
the
was the
one.
guy with the hood.
Yeah, so he didn't snitch.
No, I don't think he did.
So somehow, some way, we are to believe they found him at that place that she was staying at. The friend that nobody knew about but her.
Well, didn't they go back to the other friend's house?
Oh, is that where they went? No, you're right. They were at a different house. But I thought they went, I don't know where they went, honestly. Now that I think about it, because he closed something and she was in there, because it kind of jumped so far. I didn't know if that was his house. So that was her friend's. Why would she go back to her friend's house?
I think his house was the real dirty one that had the musical equipment in it. I
Plastic.
think that was his house.
Well, who house was it with the plastic in there? I thought that was his house because she said, "Let's go back to your place."
Oh, you're right. That was his
Yeah.
house. Yeah. Okay.
Wait,
This is
oh,
yeah.
oh,
So
wait,
that's
wait.
where they found him. So they must have figured out that she left with the
With him
Juggalo
because
Crow,
both of them left.
and
Yeah.
they got his name.
Okay,
Back
all
to
right,
his house.
all right.
I thought she went back to the other girl's house at some point, but maybe she didn't. Maybe I made that up.
Well, anyway, they kill her.
With some
And-
COVID bags. Really? Spike, when you see how
I
this
was
happened
thinking,
in the original, it's so much more impactful. I won't say what happened, but it's
Yeah.
brutal. They suffocated them with Kroger bags.
I was going to ask y'all, do y'all think somebody could do that?
Hell no. Spike, have you ever bought
know how
potatoes at
strong-
Kroger?
I was going to say, you know how strong that bag got to be, bro?
Bruh,
Like, you, come on, man.
you buy a cucumber and 2 potatoes and an onion and try to put it in one of them bags. They break.
It's going to rip.
You really want me to believe that you suffocated these people with Kroger bags?
Man, that's funny.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, dude.
He wakes up and now he's the Crow. And they explain that sometimes shit happens so bad
Mm,
that you can't die,
mm.
and that he has to come back and enact his revenge. And the guy he was talking to is, I think, Kronos, who is the spirit god.
Get him out of here too.
Yeah, so he has to kill Rogue in exchange for getting Shelly back, because Shelly's apparently not dead. She's dead, but not dead.
She's just in hell.
She's in the depths
Yeah.
of hell.
She's in the depths of hell, and he has to get her back from hell.
Mm-hmm. So this is where he spends the movie chasing them down. I think he walks up on Marion. No, he goes to Rogue place, finds the black guy in the car, kills him. He's like, "Oh yeah, I thought I killed you." He was like, "Yeah, you did."
Ooh.
Kills him. Then he ends up chasing the white woman, Marion, I think is her name.
Yeah.
You know where she from? You remember what she played in, Ken?
Mm-mm.
Foundation. That's the robot lady.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, the guy that was driving the car, this is old car chasing. He also gets shot, and apparently he feels pain when he heals. I thought they shot the guy that was driving,
They did.
I thought he was one of them.
but he was still alive driving, right?
Yep.
What?
Yeah, I saw a
thought he-
hole, and maybe they just shot him in the jaw.
Well, you talking about the first when he's in the back seat and he shot him through the car?
No, not that one. Yeah,
Oh.
no, when he's actually in the SUV.
Oh, that scene was actually not bad. That scene was kind of cool.
It was.
Yeah, I thought the driver got shot and they were
did.
going to flip over, but I think he may have only shot him in the cheek.
He shot him through the face. Yeah.
So he probably was okay.
Ah.
So, but Marion was scared as hell in that whole scene, though.
Yeah. She jumped in the back with the quickness.
She was
Get me the fuck out of here. What the hell? Man, look, a 6 foot tall juggalo jumps in your car. I'm running to the back too. The fuck?
Yeah, no, this was actually pretty cool, man. Because when he got tossed out of the car
Yeah,
and he
I ran
got
over.
hit, bro.
Mm.
That was good. And then he had to put his bone back in his leg.
Oh.
Ugh.
And I'm like, ooh, I know this gonna hurt when that heals. Yeah. So he's running around doing all that stuff. And then he finds out the truth of what happened. That Rogue took possession of Shelly's mind in order to kill the woman. And at this point, he starts to not believe in her as much. So it was another scene where oh yeah. Because he was at his house or somebody else's house, and then one of Rogue's people come through, and his ass got shot with the shotgun, and he fell in the tub, and he was basically died again.
Because he stopped loving her because he seen what she did.
Yeah,
His love was no longer pure.
right.
It's been 2 days instead of 1.
So he was like, yeah. So it says you don't believe, bro, then then you're gonna die, and that it is what it is. And at this point, Spike, that's when he was like, well, I'll give my life for hers. Now, Spike, at one point, they both were going to come back. But now he's just going to sacrifice himself for hers. Yeah. So that's enough to send him back.
That's crazy. You no longer have pure love for her, but you still would give your life. That didn't make any sense. Like you'll still give your life for her, and she's gonna come back, but you don't love her anymore. Like,
Right.
Like what?
The whole theater was like, oh. You were like, what? What are you doing? Again, the original, it made sense. This, it didn't make a single bit of sense. You've known this woman for a day and a half, but you're going to go to hell for her. Are you serious?
Yeah, because his will to it says Aerith's love for Shelly is stronger than his will to live, and he asks Kronos if he could take her place in hell if he completes the mission. So anyway, so he goes to the opera. Spike, is this one of the action scenes you were talking about? The opera scene where he basically turns into John Wick?
I was wondering, did Powers come? I guess Powers came with whatever the dude did to him the second time he died. So that's why he was able to fight like that. But yeah, this was one of the scenes. This and the car scene. But I thought this one was pretty fly as far as him killing the people and cutting the heads and shit off, and then going out there and doing that and dropping them.
I guess he can no longer feel pain anymore.
Yeah, the dude told him. Well, the other dude said that. The villain said that.
I was confused.
The villain told him because he transferred that black blood into him, and he was like, yeah, whatever that happens. But then later on, when he was talking to the villain guy, he was like, you can't even feel anything anymore.
Okay. All right. Good to know that after I saw him get shot up.
Right.
What'd you say, Mike? You said this was cool?
This scene was cool, but again, it was like y'all could have made this scene make a lot more sense if you just did a few things differently. Because, of course, the first thing I'm thinking, y'all done fired off about 38 shots. Nobody in the office.
Nobody heard it.
Bruh.
What the fuck, man?
I was saying, how loud is the opera? I've never been to the opera, but I was
I've been to
wondering,
the
is this a
opera,
soundproof room?
It ain't that damn loud.
No.
All y'all had to do, this would have still been very hard to believe, make him go to a fucking metal concert. I mean, he already looks like a fucking juggalo. Have them at some fucking concert where there's a lot of drums being hit or something that I could believe would drown out all these damn bullets. But at no point did anyone in that theater be like, what the fuck? They shooting? The scene itself was dope. I thought the action scenes, the gore, him chopping heads off, and when he did I think they kind of stole that scene from In a Violent Nature, but when he split that dude's head, I laughed out loud so hard. I was like, that was actually kind of hard, even though y'all stole it. But I couldn't get over, how are y'all going to explain nobody in here hearing these bullets?
And nobody going to the restroom. Nobody's walking about like nothing. Everybody's just fixated on this opera. Cool, whatever. But somebody got to go pee, bro.
at some point.
So I don't know. But yeah, I think we all had the same questions. I was like, bro, like, how does nobody hear any of this shit? The only time they got spooked was when he walked out with the heads and shit. I did like that. Yeah, yeah, he just dropped the head because he told Mary, he was like, I thank you for your service. she was like, what?
My thing is, what was there a point to him walking out into the opera with the heads? Like, were we supposed to understand these people to be all bad guys? Because again, watching it, I was like, yo, you have to explain why these security people are fighting back so hard, as opposed to being like, yo, I quit. Like, we just shot him 35 times. I'm out. This is stupid.
Yeah. I did like the one part where he was stabbed and he kind of was using the sword in him as a weapon. I thought that was dope.
That was real dope.
Yeah. So some pretty cool, interesting ideas they had. But it's just too many questions. Too many logical questions that I don't know. If you're making a movie, you got to think this shit through.
Right.
So, because he wasn't even there, I don't think, unless he was there and left.
He wasn't there.
He never came. He wasn't there.
Then why the fuck did you go there?
And how did you find him?
She told him. Remember?
She told him where he was. She said he's on the coastline. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
Oh yeah. So he go finds Rogue, and probably one of the most uneventful final boss fights I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
That I agree with you 1,000,000% on, because I was thinking, I was like, they leading up to the final, the final end fight thing, and I was like, that was it? That was all we got? He couldn't do the whisper shit on him? It didn't work on him?
The best, that's all he had was the fucking yin yang shit, the fucking whisper song. He just whispered in his motherfucking ear, and the shit didn't really fucking work. But he was useless. The powers were absolutely useless. And I'm like, yo, he's I don't know, bro. This was like, at this point, I was so frustrated and ready to go.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, get this shit over with. He did absolutely nothing.
Well, how can you build this guy up for an hour and 40 minutes?
And he got no powers.
And he got no powers, couldn't fight for shit. Once again, if you see the original Spike, you'll understand the frustration. And, real quick, to the people that a lot of people are like, oh, it's not fair when people compare these remakes to the originals, blah, 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 blah. Fuck you is what I say to that. Fuck you. Because the thing is, I didn't make them call this The Crow. I didn't make them name these guys Eric and Shelley. They chose to do that. So it's their fault that I'm comparing it to the original, because they put that in my brain. So if I'm looking at this movie and comparing it to the original, it's ridiculous. The original made it completely make sense why the final fight went down the way it did. No spoilers, but it made sense. This shit, he just found the guy. The guy did a little whisper thing on him. He blocked out for a second or two or some shit, and then he took him to the fucking the subway again, and then just beat him up and sent him to hell. That was it. I was like, wait, nah, he's gonna come back as like a big buff demon or something.
Yeah,
but no,
that's what I thought.
No, he was done. He was done. Here goes Shelley.
I cannot believe that shit. I really could not believe that shit.
Yep. And the final part that was confusing to me, because I was extremely disappointed by that, and I think you just said you were too, Spike, right?
Yes, that was a big nothing burger.
Yeah, no, it was very uneventful. Was how it's been a couple of days, right, since Shelley and Eric were dead. So when she was brought back to life, where did that happen? Did they pull her out of the water? What was she in the hospital?
It was like magic or something, that it just took her back to that moment of her and Eric dying.
So we just went back in time, and
that's what I thought, because for a hot second I was like, oh, this was just a drug fueled, manic moment. Like, this didn't actually happen. And I thought that could have actually been not necessarily cool, but it would have been better than what we got. But actually, I don't think that's what they were going for. I think that this stuff did happen, and she just woke back up in that moment where, wait.
When they on the bridge?
No, I thought they
She
found
came
them in a. I thought they were in a house or an apartment. Were they on a bridge?
I don't know.
Actually, I don't know what moment this is supposed to be because they had drugs with them. So were they? I took it as they were. This was like a moment where they were in one of those houses where they were partying and doing drugs, and she just had an OD, and he did as well. Because remember, there's a part where he's giving himself or he's getting his hand tattooed by that black guy, and then she walks in. He's like, "You don't respect my art." He had that tattoo on his hand, so I thought that was supposed to be in that same house that they were in, and he was getting tattooed. And the movie, at first, I thought the movie was trying to say that they both just OD'd, and this was Shelley having a dream of what happened.
Okay.
But then when it cut back to Eric and he's walking in hell, I was like, okay, well, there goes that theory.
Well, a couple of other news and notes, and I know that you're right, Mike. People will be saying that. Even if we didn't directly compare it or indirectly compare it, however you want to look at it, to the original, the fucking story, the movie as a whole is shit.
Yep.
We didn't even have to fucking compare it to that to criticize the shit. This shit is fucking awful.
Yep.
So, so I'm on here, and apparently this thing has been stuck in development hell since 2008.
I believe it.
So the original guy said he wanted to do a reinvention of it. And after that, a couple of people stepped down, blah, 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 blah. And then in November 2019, Alex Proyas, who directed the first one, he tried to stop it. He tried to stop the reboot from happening out of respect for Lee. And he said it's not just a movie that can be remade, it's one man's legacy and should be treated with that level of respect. I 100% agree with what they did with this.
Yep.
Like, they didn't even come close to that. So
y'all have been better at promoting it than anything I've seen back. I don't know why I never was open to it back in the day, but I do want to see it now that I've heard y'all speak to it.
But I think Mike made a point, like, even if it didn't have to be called The Crow. This could have been somebody, they could have just made up somebody, bro. Just completely threw somebody else out there. It still would have been shit, but when you call it The Crow and you use like main points from the story to do this one, that's when you get yourself in a world of trouble.
Yeah, because the other Crow sequels, none of them were Eric Draven. They were other people. Because like in the comics, it's not like there's just one Crow. It's just we are introduced to the Crow through Eric Draven. They could have easily just not named the Juggalo Crow Eric Draven. He could have been named Cletus, Chauncey, whatever the fuck you want to call him. Just don't call him Eric Draven. This movie would have still been garbage, but I think it would have at least been a bit more respectful of what Brandon Lee did. Like, this movie was so ass that I didn't even think about the whole disrespectful to Brandon Lee part until well after. Once that idea popped in my head, I was like, oh, this is 10 times worse.
Yeah. God awful. At this point, I feel like I'm gonna have a top 10 worst movies of 2024 list.
We done seen some bad movies this year.
Yeah.
This still this doesn't have Trap for me. I understand y'all viewpoint now, especially since y'all have explained it and seen the original. And I think y'all kind of swayed me your way. It wasn't just all right. Like I said, it was bad. That we've talked through the plot holes, but it still ain't worse than Trap for me. Trap was disrespectfully bad.
That's how I felt.
That was disrespectful. Yeah, that was disrespectful.
With Trap, I was at least I was annoyed, but I wasn't necessarily fuck, I'm pissed because I've been sitting here for fucking. Actually, no, I was. That's a lie. I was. That's a lie. I was pissed about Trap 2. I was more mad about this though.
Yeah.
I was more mad about this, and I think I was also more mad because I felt bad that my girl had to sit there and watch this shit with me. Because we both
Has she seen the original?
Of course,
She liked the original.
yeah. Yeah. That was another one of those movies where it's like this is made for weird kids. Like I grew up loving The Crow. I didn't have high expectations of this shit. I knew it was going to be bad, just not this bad.
Yeah.
Like the dialogue was embarrassing. The acting was horrendous. The only thing that saved this were the few action scenes that were actually really good.
Yeah. And Marion being upset, well, not Marion, I keep calling her Marion, her mama being upset that she lost her daughter and then make her jump out the window. But I'm like, and another, I guess maybe you're right, Spike, because I was trying to figure out, because he was like, thank you for giving her to me. And I was like, to do what? But I think you're right. It is probably to play piano, I guess. But
That's what it was?
They never said.
She said she was a prodigy and she used to love it, but now she hated because of the people around her. And I'm assuming that that white girl was the new her.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comment section. And we'll catch you guys next time. We out. Peace.
Peace.